Be the change that you wish to see in the world. Don't wish for it, work for it. With these words, welcome you all to ABS Creations by your educationalist Chandrakala. Difficult roads often lead to beautiful destination, so success is your only option. If you have not subscribed the channel, subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to receive the notification. In this session, we will discuss about mineral-based industries under manufacturing industries grade 10. In the previous session, we have discussed about agro-based industries. What is agro-based industries? The industries which depend upon the raw material from the agriculture sector. They are referred as agro-based industries. Let us now define mineral-based industries. What are mineral-based industries? The industries which use both metallic and non-metallic minerals as their raw materials to manufacture its product. So those type of industries, they come under the category of mineral-based industries. Now let us see the various types of mineral-based industries like iron and steel industry, aluminium industry, cement industry, chemical industry, fertilizer industry, and even automobile industry. So these are the various mineral-based industries of our country. Among all these industries, the major mineral-based industry in our country is the iron and steel industry. The major mineral-based industry of our country is the iron and steel industry. So this iron and steel industry of India is considered as basic industry or key industry of India. What may be the reason behind it? The reason is that all other industries, whether it is a heavy, medium or light, starting from the large scale industry to the small scale industry or even the cottage industry, they depend on the iron and steel industry for its machinery. So that is what we say it as iron and steel industry is considered as the basic industry of our country. It is also called as basic metallurgical industry. Why we say it as a basic metallurgical industry is that the finished products of this iron and steel industry is used as a raw material by the host of the other industries. The finished product of the iron and steel industry is used as a raw material by the host of the other industries. So these industries, it helps in the manufacture of engineering goods, construction material, defense, telephonic items, medical and scientific equipments, variety of consumer goods, machine tools, automobiles, locomotives, and even railway equipment industries. They use this iron and steel industry as their primary raw material. So as these are manufactured with the help of the iron and steel industry, the production and the consumption of steel, the production and the consumption of the steel is regarded as the index for country's development. So why production and consumption of steel is regarded as the index of country's development? Because this iron and steel industry is used in the manufacture of engineering goods, construction material, defense, medical equipment, scientific equipment, variety of consumer goods. All these industries, they depend upon the iron and steel industry for their basic raw material. So that is what we say it as production and consumption of steel is regarded as the index of country's development. Now we will see why iron and steel industry is considered as a heavy industry. So we know that iron and steel industry, based on the bulk and the weight of the raw material, it comes under the category of heavy industry. So why it is so? Why it is called as heavy industry? The reason is that all the raw materials as well as the finished goods are heavy. The raw materials used for the iron and steel industry like iron ore, coal, manganese, limestone, particularly iron ore and coal. So these raw materials as well as the finished goods, they are heavy and bulky, which transportation cost is very high. Where the transportation cost is very high. All the raw materials as well as the finished goods, they are heavy and bulky, entailing heavy transportation goods cost. So that is what we say iron and steel industry is called as the heavy industry. So in what composition of raw material is used for manufacturing the iron and steel product is that there are 4 major raw materials like iron ore, coking coal, limestone and manganese. So iron ore, when it is used in 4%, we have to use coking coal of 2% and limestone of 1%. So what is the composition of raw material used in the iron and steel industry is that iron ore, coking coal and limestone is used in the proportion of 4:2:1. 4:2:1. So the other raw material, manganese, is used in that preparation of iron and steel product to harden the steel. To harden the steel, which mineral is used for hardening the steel? It is the manganese. So manganese is also considered as one of the raw material for iron and steel industry. So for iron ore, coking coal, limestone are used in the composition of 4:2:1. We cannot set up iron and steel industry anywhere. We have to set up where the factors meet the requirement for the location of iron and steel industry. So we know that what are the factors of production, that is land, labor, physical capital. We have market, transportation facilities, capital is required, labor facility is required, water facility is required, geographical conditions, political condition, historical condition, all aspects of factors is required to set up any industries. But particularly iron and steel industry, where it has to be located, it has to be located either near the coal fields nor the iron ore. What is the reason behind it is that, so since both the raw materials, that is coal as well as the iron ore, they are the bulky and heavy raw material. So the transportation cost from the mining area towards the factory area, and from the factory area, the finished product to the market area, the transportation cost is very high. So to reduce the transportation cost, so the iron and steel industry has to be located either near the iron ore or near the coal mining region, or in midway between the iron ore and the coal. So that is what we say, that iron and steel industry is a heavy and a bulky industry. So because of transportation cost is very high, so the industry has to be located either near the iron ore center or near the coal center, or in way between the iron ore and coal. So here, Chota Nagpur Plateau region, just you can see, observe the map here. So Chota Nagpur Plateau region comprises the southern part of Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh region, northern part of Odisha, and western part of the West Bengal. So this particular region, Chota Nagpur Plateau region, we know that it is a storehouse of minerals. So as we know that it is a storehouse of minerals, we have maximum concentration of iron and steel plant in the Chota Nagpur Plateau. What is the reason behind it? The reason behind it is that availability of raw material. So this particular Chota Nagpur Plateau region, maximum concentration of iron and steel plant is located because of availability of raw material, high grade raw material. Availability of high grade raw material. So we use magnetite and hematite ore. So particularly we use the hematite ore for its production. So high grade raw material ore is available. So as it is more available, as the raw material is more available, the cost of raw material is very less. So low cost of iron ore because of high grade raw material available in close proximity. At the same time, cheap labor in and around the regions of Chota Nagpur Plateau, that is mainly from Bihar, West Bengal, Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, and even the eastern part of Uttar Pradesh. At the same time, vast potential in the home market, vast growth of potential in the home market. So they have the market facilities for their products. So that is what we can say, that more number of iron and steel industry or iron and steel plant is located at the Chota Nagpur Plateau. So because of low cost of iron ore, due to proximity of high grade raw material, cheap labor is available, and the vast growth potential in the home market. So even though we have all these facilities for the maximum concentration of iron and steel plant, we are not able to compete with the world market because we are not able to perform to our full potential. The reason, what is the reason is that the high cost and the limited availability of coking coal. So in the previous concept, we have seen that Chota Nagpur Plateau has a maximum concentration of iron and steel plant because of low cost iron ore, because of close proximity of high grade raw materials, cheap labor is available, market facility is available for their products. Even though we have all these facilities, we are not able to cope up with the world market, and we are not able to fulfill our potential. The reason is that the coking coal, the limited availability of coking coal, and the cost is very high. High cost and limited availability of coking coal. At the same time, low productivity from the laborers. There is no proper supply of energy. So there is an irregular supply of energy. And the infrastructure is not good. So poor infrastructure. So high cost and limited availability of coking coal, lower productivity of labor, irregular supply of energy, and poor infrastructure may be the reasons where our iron and steel industries were not able to perform to our full potential. So now you can observe the map here. So in the map we can see 11 integrated steel plants. So iron and steel plants in India, how many steel plants are there in India is that we have 11 integrated steel plants. Out of 11 integrated steel plants, one and only steel plant is the private sector and the remaining 9 come under public sector. So out of 11 integrated steel plants, 1 is under private sector and 10 under public sector. So apart from the integrated steel plants, we have mini steel plants of 150. So we have mini steel plants of 150 steel plants in India. So before that, we should know what is an integrated steel plant. What is an integrated steel plant? So integrated steel plant is large. It handles everything in one complex, that is under one roof, from putting together raw material to steel making, rolling and shaping. So every process of converting the raw material towards the finished product, the manufacturing of finished product takes under one complex roof. So that is what we say it as an integrated steel plant. So integrated steel plant is large, handles everything in one complex from putting together raw materials to steel making, rolling and shaping. Whereas mini steel plants, so mini steel plants are smaller, they have electric furnaces, they use steel scrap and sponge iron, they have re-rollers that use steel ingots as well, and they produce. The production from this mini steel plant is mild and alloy steel of given speculations. So mini steel plants are smaller plants which have electric furnaces. They use steel scrap and sponge iron as a raw material, and even they have re-rollers that use steel ingots, and they produce mild and alloy steel of given speculations. That is what we used to say it as a mini steel plants. So as we know that India has 10 integrated steel plants. Out of the 10 integrated steel plants, 1 is under private sector and another 9 come under the public sector plants. So the one and only private sector plant has been established, that is modernization of the iron and steel industry in India was started in the year 1907 with the establishment of Tata Iron and Steel Company in the year 1907 by late Jamshedji Tata. So now previously we say this iron and steel company is set up at Sakchi. So Sakchi is the old name of Jamshedpur. So the modernization of the industry was started in the year 1907 with the establishment of Tata Iron and Steel Company, which has been established in the year 1907 at Jamshedpur by late Jamshedji Tata. So the second steel plant, that is public sector steel plant, is that Tata Indian Iron and Steel Company, which has been set up in the year 1919 at Burnpur of West Bengal. So it has been set up in the year 1919. Whereas Vishveshwaraya Iron and Steel Plant, it has been set up in the year 1923. It has been set up in the year 1923 at Bhadravati, where the products manufactured are alloy and sponge steel. So Vishveshwaraya Iron and Steel Limited, it has been set up in the year 1923 at Bhadravati, and from this steel plant they produce alloy and sponge steel. Whereas in IISCO, that is Indian Iron and Steel Company, which has been established at Burnpur in West Bengal, so pig iron and crude steel have been manufactured. Whereas in Tata Iron and Steel Company, pig iron has been established or manufactured. The next category of steel plants, they come under HSL, that is Hindustan Steel Limited. So there are 4 steel plants which come under Hindustan Steel Plant. One is at Bhilai, which has been set up in the year 1959. The next one is at Rourkela in the year 1965. The next one is at 1959. where it was set up, but production was production started in the year 1962 at Durgapur, West Bengal, and the 1972 at Bokaro, Jharkhand. So these are the 4 integrated steel plants which come under Hindustan Steel Limited. So this Hindustan Steel Limited, which has been set up in the year 1959 at Bhilai, that is Chhattisgarh, it has been collaborated with the foreign companies, Russia, with foreign collaboration of Russia, and manufactures railway equipments and shipbuilding. Whereas HSL, that is Rourkela, it has been set up in the year 1965. In the year 1965, with collaboration of Germany. And here, hot and cold rolled sheets, galvanized sheets, and electric plates have been manufactured. Then steel plant, which has been set up at Durgapur in the year 1959, but the production started in the year 1962. So what happened? It has a collaboration with United Kingdom and manufactures alloy steel, construction materials, and railway equipments. Then Bokaro Steel Plant, which has been set up in the year 1972, which produces sludge and slag. It has a collaboration with Russia. So these are the different HSL, that is steel plants, which come under Hindustan Steel Limited. The next category of 3 plants, they come under new steel plants, that is Salem Steel Plant. It has been set up in the year 1982 and manufactures stainless steel. The world-class stainless steel product has been manufactured in the Salem Steel Plant. The next steel plant is the Vijayanagar Steel Plant, which has been set up at Vijayanagar, Karnataka in the year 1994, and it manufactures flat steel and long steel. The third last one, the 10th integrated steel plant, is the Visakhapatnam Steel Plant, which has been set up in the year 1992 at Visakhapatnam. So it produces hot metal. It produces what? Hot metal. So these are the various steel plants which has been set up in India. 10 integrated steel plants, 1 under private sector and the remaining under public sector. The next industry is about the aluminium industry. So aluminium, from where it has been extracted? It has been extracted from the mineral ore called by the name as bauxite. So this aluminium industry is considered as the second metallurgical industry in India. So second major metallurgical industry in India, which is light, resistant to corrosion, a good conductor of heat, malleable, and becomes strong when it is mixed with the other metals. So aluminium industry is considered as the second metallurgical industry in India, which is light, resistant to corrosion, a good conductor of heat, malleable, and becomes strong when it is mixed with the other metals. So from this aluminium smelting industry, it manufactures aircrafts, utensils, and wires. Apart from that, it acts as a substitute for steel, copper, zinc, and lead in many industries. So these are the uses of aluminium industry. So what is the basic raw material from where alumina is extracted is that bauxite. So bauxite is a bulky and a dark reddish colored rock. Bauxite is the raw material which is used in the smelters, and it is very bulky, dark reddish colored rock. So you can see the flowchart here. It states that the bauxite raw material has been extracted from the bauxite quarry, and it is transported to the factory area, aluminum refinery, where the bauxite is crushed and alumina is dissolved. So the process takes place. Bulk ore is shipped to the site of smelter, calcinated petroleum coke from a refinery, pitch from a colliery. Then finally, for the aluminium smelter, it requires 18,600 kilowatt per ton of ore. So to smelt the aluminium, the power required is 18,600 kilowatt per ton of ore. So this is what the process involved in the manufacturing of aluminium industry. So to set up the industry, we know that various factors. Apart from the various factors, there are 2 major primary factors for the location of aluminium industry. So what are the 2 major factors is that regular supply of electricity and an assured source of raw material at minimum cost. So these are the 2 factors for the location of aluminium industry. The next, mineral based industry. So before that, we can see this The areas where the aluminium industry or aluminium smelting plant has been set up in India, in Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Maharashtra. Around 2008, we can say that production from this industry is about 15.29 lakh million tons. 15.29 lakh million tons. The next type of industry is the chemical industries. So this chemical industry, in India, it is the fastest growing industry and a diversifying industry, where it stands third largest in Asia and 12th place in the world. So this chemical industry can be classified into two types, like organic chemicals and inorganic chemicals, which come under large and small scale industries. So this chemical industry, the contribution from this industry towards our GDP is around 3%. So when we say something about the organic chemicals are a broad class of substance containing carbon and its derivatives. Many of these chemicals will frequently contain hydrogen with or without oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus and other elements. So these organic chemicals include petrochemicals, which are used for the manufacturing of synthetic fibers, synthetic rubber, plastics, dyestuff, drugs, pharmaceuticals. So organic chemicals plants are mainly where it is located. Mainly it is located near the oil refineries or petrochemical plants. Whereas inorganic chemicals, it is a broad class of substances encompassing all those that do not include carbon and its derivatives as their principal elements. So these inorganic chemicals include sulfuric acid, which is used in the manufacture of fertilizers, synthetic fibers, plastics, adhesives, paints, dyestuffs, nitric acid, alkalis, soda ash, which is used in the manufacture of glass, soaps and detergents, paper and even caustic soda. So this particular chemical industry, inorganic chemicals, they are widely spread all over the country. The next type of industry under mineral based is the fertilizer industry. So this fertilizer industry is located or centered around the production of nitrogenous fertilizers. These nitrogenous fertilizers, they mainly include urea. Apart from that, phosphate fertilizers and ammonium phosphate, that is DAP, and a complex fertilizers, which is a combination of both nitrogen and phosphate. Nitrogen, phosphate and potash. So the fertilizer industry, where it is located around the production of 1 nitrogenous fertilizers, 2 phosphate fertilizers, 3 ammonium phosphate and 4 complex fertilizers, which have a combination of nitrogen, phosphate and even the potash. So the third that is potash. Potash is entirely imported as the country does not have any reserves of commercially usable potash or potassium components in any form. So totally in India, 57 fertilizer units manufacturing nitrogenous and complex nitrogenous fertilizers are available, 29 fertilizer units which manufactures urea, 9 ammonium sulfate as a byproduct, and 68 small units produce single superphosphate are there. So 57 fertilizer units, they manufacture nitrogenous and complex nitrogenous fertilizers, 29 manufactures urea, 9 ammonium sulfate as a byproduct and 68 small units which produce single superphosphate. Here 10 public sector plants are there and 1 cooperative sector which is particularly located at Hazira in Gujarat under the Fertilizer Corporation of India. So with all these units, we can say that fertilizer industry of India stands third largest producer of nitrogenous fertilizers. It stands third largest producer of nitrogenous fertilizer. The next type of industry is the cement industry. Cement mainly, particularly, it is essential for construction activity. It is mainly useful for construction activity such as building houses, factories, bridges, roads, airports, dam and for other commercial establishment. So the first cement plant in India, it has been established in the year 1904 in Chennai. The first cement plant has been established in Chennai in the year 1904. So large plants here in cement industry in India in India we have 128 large plants and 332 mini steel plants. So 128 large plants are available and 332 mini steel plants are available in India. So the raw material which is used for the cement industry to manufacture cement is that limestone, silica, alumina, gypsum. What are the raw material used for the cement industry? They are the limestone, silica, alumina and gypsum. So the first cement industry which has been set up in the year 1904 is at Chennai. In India we have 128 large cement plants and 332 mini steel plants. And what are the raw material used for this particular industry is limestone, silica, aluminium and gypsum. So for our products, that is cement industry in India, it has a market. It has a market in East Asia, Middle Eastern countries, African countries and South Asian countries. It has. Now we'll see about the automobile industry. India is set to emerge not only as a large domestic market for automobile manufacturers, but also as a crucial link in the global automotive change. It is one of the most dynamic industrial groups in India. The first automobile industry has been set up in the year 1947 at Kurla. The name of the automobile industry is the Premier Automobiles Limited, followed by Hindustan Motors Limited at Uttarpara near Kolkata in the year 1948. With the help of the establishment of the industries at present, automobile industry of our country stands the 7th largest producer of automobiles manufacturers in the world. So there are certain factors contributed to the healthy growth of the automobile industry. So what are the factors is that introduction of new and complementary models stimulated the demand for vehicles in the market. Apart from that, FDI, that is foreign direct investment, they have brought in new technology and aligned the industry with global developments. So these automobile industries provide vehicle for quick transportation of goods, services and passengers. So for example, as we use trucks, buses, cars, motorcycles, scooters, everything they are manufactured in India at various centers. After the liberalization, the coming in of new and contemporary models stimulated the demand for vehicles in the market, which led to the healthy growth of the industry, including passenger cars, 2 and 3 wheelers. This industry had experienced a quantum jump in less than 15 years. As we know that FDI stands for foreign direct investment, it has brought in the development of new technology and aligned the industry with global developments of India. So at present, there are 15 manufacturers of passenger cars and multi-utility vehicles, 9 commercial vehicles, 14 of 2 and 3 wheelers. So where we can see the industry in India is around Delhi, Gurgaon, Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Lucknow, Indore, Hyderabad, Jamshedpur and Bengaluru. So these areas we have the automobile industries. And the last industry is about information technology and electronic industry. So electronic industry covers a wide range of products from transistor sets to television, telephones, cellular telecoms, pagers, telephone exchange, radars, computers and many other equipments required by the telecommunication industry. So here Bangalore is considered Bengaluru has been emerged as the electronic capital of India. So other centers where software technology parks have been implemented is that at Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir, Mohali, Noida, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, Telangana, Kolkata. So in the year 2010 to 11, so we have 46 centers where software technology park has been established. So around 2010 to 2011, software technology parks of India have come across 46 locations in India. So what is the impact of software technology park of India? It generates employment to more number of people. So nearly around 30% of the people employed in software technology park of India is women category. So this particular industry earns a valuable foreign exchange in the last 2 to 3 years because of its fastest growing BPO, that is business process outsourcing sector. So the continuing growth in the hardware and the software is the key to the success of IT industry in India. So what is the impact of software technology park? So it generates more number of employment to people of India. So 30% of the people who have been employed in this software technology park is women. So it earns valuable foreign exchange nearly over 2 to 3 years past. The reason is that because of the fastest growing business process outsourcing sector. So the continuing growth in the hardware and the software is the key to the success of IT industry in India. I think you have understood the concept. Go through the concepts again and just test yourself by answering these questions. Why is iron and steel industry called the basic industry? Distinguish between mini steel plant and integrated steel plant. Why are the most of the iron and steel plants of India concentrated in Chotanagpur Plateau region? India is an important iron and steel producing country in the world, yet we are not able to perform to our full potential. Give reasons. Mention the factors that have contributed in the healthy growth of the automobile industry in India. So in the next video, we will see about the industrial pollution and the environmental degradation. And in the description box, I have given a link for the previous video of manufacturing industries for better understanding. If you like this video, you can share it, comment it, and you can subscribe it. Thank you.